Oh,
Good morning,
yes.
everyone.
Good
Good
morning.
Ramon.
Ramon. Buenos dias, mis amigos and amigas. Miss Parker,
Yes.
it looks like we're ready
Can
to
you
go.
see me? Oh, no, you can't.
No, we cannot.
Yes, we are. A couple more people that asking for password.
Do you want to say
That was
anything
quick.
before we kick the meeting off?
Well, I want to say good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Give me some PG love. Give me some PG energy.
I am the greatest.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ready to learn.
Good morning, good morning.
And
Dr. Wilson would say it's a grand, beautiful morning.
What a grand day. What a grand
we're
day.
excited that,
Good morning.
yes, it is a grand day. Good morning. Yeah, we are excited to have this session this morning. We have a big bro, Dave, on the line with us. He's going to give us the law of the land. And I'm super excited that he made himself available to speak with us because I know his schedule is super, super busy, just as ours, right? And we are so excited to have access to this university. We got 23 people on the line this morning. And dude, hey, we're on this thing. Yesterday we had our first coaching session. It was amazing. Was it amazing?
Yes.
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 It was.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, a lot of great takeaways from our first session. So we are all in, Dave, and we are ready to hear from you and what you have to tell us this morning.
Can you guys hear me okay? We're clear.
Yes.
All right, fantastic.
You're good, my man. Yes,
So I appreciate everybody. Everybody, do me a favor. Mute yourself, and then if I call on you, then we're gonna unmute. That way, there's gonna be sirens and dogs and such, so forth. Control equals income. So what I wanted to do, I got some reports back, and all the reports are amazing on you guys. Everybody's training. Everybody's doing extra training. Everybody's moving forward. Everybody's engaged, and that's what we want to see when we first launch the program. Basically, we all gave you guys keys to a brand new Ferrari, and everybody's like, "Wow, out of here! I'm gonna go run and see how fast I can take this thing," which is the right thing to do. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna run a race. So this is what I want to do. Couple things on the schedule for today. Number one, we are going to do you are going to produce your success schedule. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down some barriers with Cardone University. So before I do that though, I want to explain what a game is. I want to explain a game. So with a game, you've got three different components. You have barriers, you have rules, things that like you're not supposed to be doing. Right? Then you also have freedom, like the things that allow you to do whatever you want to do. And then the third piece of a game is you have purpose, the reason you're playing it. Okay. Now here's what happens. If there's no barriers, if there's things that you can't go up against, like if you're playing football and there's no out of bounds, it's not a game. People are just running around hitting each other in the head. So what we want to do is we want to put barriers into place. And here's what happens. When you put barriers into place, your freedom matches the barrier. So when you start to get bigger barriers in life, and some of you have experienced this, like all of a sudden your purpose gets bigger and you're like, I want to go do something else. I want to move away from home. All of a sudden, the freedom of not paying rent and not buying food and not having to pay for your own clothes, like that's some freedom. But you also had some barriers, like you had to be home at a certain time, you had to go to school, right? And then you're like, I want some more freedom. I'm going to go live on my own and do whatever I want whenever I want. I'm going to go live on my own. That's cool, man. That's more freedom. But that comes with more barriers. You have to pay rent. You have to get a job. You have to have a boss. So what happens is when your barriers are raised, your freedom is raised at the same time. So when you're like, oh man, I'm gonna experience more freedom, I'm gonna get what I want, I'm gonna do what I want, expect barriers to happen barriers or problems are good things, that you want that, because that tells you that your purpose is also going higher. Okay, you're just playing a bigger game. So what we want to do is I want to put some barriers into place with Cardone University, because this is going to affect your freedom, and you're going to have more freedom because you're going to have more money. So you are allowed to train on whatever you want to train on every day, as much as you want to train, as long as you do the minimum that's assigned to you by Coach Eric Thomas. Just give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Okay, good. So he's got, we're doing the personal finances first, right? Is that what, okay, good. So you have.
We're on goal setting now.
Oh, you're on goal setting?
We're on goal setting now.
All right, I'm gonna talk to him about that, because I want to make sure you guys do personal finances first. So I'll get with him on that. So whatever he assigns you to do, you do those minimum segments of content, and just like a professional athlete warms up before the game and not during the game, you warm up before you make your first call, before you ever talk to a client. So what time of the day is the training expected to be completed?
Before 9 a.m.
Okay, so before 9 a.m. Okay, good. Now, that means you don't want to start it at 8:45. You're going to pick a time between the time you wake up and 8:50 to have the training completed. Also, when was the last time you saw LeBron James practice during a game? Never. I don't think Kobe practiced during games. Jordan didn't practice during games. Tom Brady does not practice during a game. So how much training on Cardone University should be done between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m.?
0.
Absolutely none. You are not practicing and drilling and rehearsing during your game, and your game is from 9 to 6. You can practice, you must drill and rehearse before your game, and it's optional to get in there and get into the gym more than anybody else after your game. So after 6 o'clock. So instead of turning on the TV or doing, what you would do to waste time at night, switch that time into, now I'm going to go into the fundamentals. Now I'm going to go into sales meetings with Grant. Now I'm going to go into those things, right? So do all the extra training you want before 9 a.m. and after 6 p.m. or after the day is done. And remember, reports come out to us. So anyone training during the middle of the day will be communicated with. Hey, I see you. All right. So what else, Miss Parker, on that? Anything else on that? You are muted.
I'm muted.
There you
Okay,
go.
here I am. No, that was great. I think that gives us good guidance and instruction as to when we can dive into the material so that it won't distract us from our daily activities, our daily money-making activities.
Because it's easy to jump in there and you're like, you got Grant Cardone telling you all the secrets and all the techniques and all the strategies, and you just want to sit in there all day and get that information. Yeah, you're not getting paid to train, you're getting paid to close deals. The training makes you better at closing deals. So you just want to keep that in mind. So keeping that in mind, what I want to do is, I don't usually do this till like 6-8 months in with a client after they've been on training. Your group is different. What I want to do is I want to put together a success schedule. The most powerful people on the planet make decisions, and they make decisions fast. They commit first and then they figure the rest out later. So everybody's got their pen and piece of paper ready, right? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. So I want you to write on the piece of paper what time you wake up. Not what time the alarm goes off and you hit snooze 3 times. What times did the first alarm go off and you wake up and get out of bed? who is... Miss Parker, I think... Oh, there we go. No, I got you. Never mind. Okay, good. So I want you to write that down. Show me a show of fingers of, like, who's waking up at 5 or who's waking up at 6. 6. Okay, good. Now, what are you going to do between 6 a.m. or 5 a.m.? What are you going to do for the first 15 minutes? I want you to write that down. We're going to break the day into 15-minute blocks. What are you doing for the first 15 minutes? For me, the first 7 or 8 minutes, you know what I'm doing. I'm bitching and complaining. God damn, 5 a.m. again? This is stupid. And I just get all that out of the way so I don't bitch and complain through the rest of the day. I just knock it out in the first 5 or 6 minutes. And then I'm free of the whiner and the complainer for the rest of the day. Maybe you don't do that. But that's me. And then I want you to write down, what are you doing from 6:15 or 5, from the time you wake up? What are you doing for the next 15 minutes and the next 15 minutes and the next 15 minutes? All the way up until, you know, at 9 o'clock, what we're going to do is Miss Parker, we decided we're going to do a 9 o'clock 15-minute meeting. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is how it's going to work. At 9 o'clock, you're going to log in just like you did on this call, but it's going to be at 9 a.m. and it's going to be at 9 a.m. at Monday through Friday, and it's going to be a 15-minute meeting. And this is what's going to happen, because everybody's going to have that training done this morning. Everybody's on the same page. Now, again, if you want to do extra training after work or before work, you can absolutely do that, 100%. But during work hours, it's work time, not training time. So it's going to be, all right, Kara, tell me what you got from the first video this morning. And everybody's going to know the first video because everybody's training on the first video of what's assigned. And she's going to say, oh, wow, it was amazing. I got this and I got that. And then Ms. Parker's going to say, fantastic. How are you going to apply that today? Those are going to be the 2 main questions that are asked. And Kara's going to share, well, the way I'm going to apply it is I'm going to apply it this way and I'm going to apply it this way. Fantastic. And then Casey's going to say, well, I got something from the first video too. This is what I learned. Great. I loved it when Grant said this. And then Ms. Parker is going to say, how are you going to apply that today? And he's going to explain how he's going to apply that. And you're going to go through each video and she's going to call on different people. What I suggest is you raise your hand. Like at some point, you're going to get something like, wow, it was very impactful. Never heard this before, or I haven't heard it in a long time and I used to use it. And this is, it affected me this morning and it put me at cause. Share. Don't even wait for her to call. Well, raise your hand so not everybody's talking at the same time, but one person at a time will share what they learned and how are they going to apply it today. So, and that's going to be a 15-minute meeting and then you're done. And then 9:15 or 9:16, you're off and running. You are running for freedom, financial freedom. Now, there is a mastermind call every day from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What we want you to do is we want you to pick Mondays, because your day is pretty, that means you're not even getting on the call till 11, and that is a value add. It's not something that you have to do every day, but I would love to role play with you. I do Mondays at 10 a.m. So Ms. Parker and I discussed, let's do everybody log in Mondays so that you can role play with me, and then the rest of the week after the 9 o'clock meeting, you're just going to roll right into going out there and crushing the day. Okay? Now, let's go back to the success schedule. So on Mondays...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yes.
You say from 10 to what time? On Monday?
10 to 11. I'm going to send a link out
thank
to
you.
Miss Parker so that she can send it to everyone, and you can register for the 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time mastermind call. Okay, so it's like the coaching call, except it's with me, and I'm not assigning content. All I'm doing is answering questions and role playing with you. So you get to role play like you're calling me up, selling me insurance, selling me my final expenses, and you're gonna be able to role play with me, role play the objections, the toughest part of the sale for you. So the success schedule is going to be pretty easy up until about 6 o'clock. After 6 o'clock, most people are like, I want to leave that time open. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. Write this down. White space is the devil.
That is indeed correct.
White space is the devil. Who knows what I'm talking about when I say white space? Anna, what is white space?
Nothing moment. No activity, no nothing.
That's right. That's right.
Void.
So white space on the calendar, when you don't have something blocked off, when it's not colored in, that's when you get into trouble. That's when you're doing something wrong. That's when all of a sudden things pop up and you're like, hey, let's go do this thing. It has nothing to do with the goals that you wrote down that morning. So plan something in. If you have to make it up, that's fine. Maybe you put on there, hey, for the next 30 minutes, it's Cardone University, and then I'm reading a book, and then I'm spending this hour with my spouse, and then, oh yeah, I've got to put the kids to bed, and that takes 90 minutes sometimes. Like, put that on the schedule, put that on the calendar, and I want it filled up from the time you wake up all the way to the time that you brush your teeth and you go to bed. Everything filled. If it was the perfect day, if it was absolutely the perfect, successful day, I want you to write that day out. Okay? Now, Saturdays and Sundays, write it out for Saturdays and Sundays. Now, a lot of people have trouble writing it out for Saturdays and Sundays because it's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. This might pop up. This might pop up. It's my friend's birthday. You know, we got to go to the lake, whatever it is. Write it in. If you have to change it later, that's fine. If you have to change it later, the most powerful thing a human being can do is change their mind. But if you don't have anything to change it to, that's when you get in trouble. If you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. So fill it up, even on Saturdays and Sundays. What questions do you guys have?
Can we add donuts like Casey had? Because I'm craving donuts now. Can I put that on my schedule?
Well, I can ask
All right.
you. Let me ask you this. That's a good question. How many other people were thinking it's 8:49 in the morning? I could use a Krispy Kreme right now. So here's the question. That is actually a really good question. Does having the donut help you get closer to the goals you wrote down or farther away?
It helps me get closer.
Okay. Like maybe you're bulking up. Maybe you're bulking up. And I know a lot of bodybuilders, they have to eat donuts just to get the calories. So maybe that's it. But make sure that
I wish I had to eat donuts.
Let me apply what I
No donuts.
time to
Let
hit
me
the
apply
gym.
what we talked about last night. If I eat donuts every day, that's a problem because that's a repeated behavior that's not going to help me with my goals.
Yeah.
But if I allow myself to do it on Friday and just say, hey, I'm awarding myself for the week that I've hit some goals, then it is helping me get to my goals because it's my reward. So I just wanted to clarify, I'm not blowing smoke. There's a reason why I do what I do.
Put it in your calendar. Friday, 8 a.m. Stopping by Krispy Kreme. So, or put it in your success schedule. So remember, you want to put in the morning the time you have for Cardone University. You also want to put in time to exercise the body. You also want to put in your goals. Where's the 5 or 6 minutes that you're going to write your goals out? So your morning is going to be filled up real quick. I need to wake up. I need to get on Cardone University, need to write my goals, or I need to write my goals and get on Cardone University. I need to hit the gym. I need to shower. I need to get ready for work, and I need to be on a Zoom call by 9 a.m. Like if you wake up at 5, that's pretty much your morning. But write it out and time. Don't just put it down. Put what time you're getting it done. So if you're running 2 or 3 minutes behind, you need to step it up. And watch how productive you're going to become. Because what we're doing is we're cutting the day into 24 hours. We're not like 24 hours. Sometimes it's so much time, we think we have extra time. So what we're doing is we're cutting the day into 15-minute blocks. This is how you become more productive. When you cut the day into 15-minute blocks, all of a sudden it's how much can I get done? Not in the whole day. Oh, how much can I get done in the next 15 minutes? Can I write my goals down, make my bed, get my teeth brushed, and cook my eggs all inside that 15 minutes and eat it? Can we see if we can get it done? You start to play a game of how fast you can get things done, and all of a sudden you start getting really good at being proficient when we cut it into 15-minute blocks. What other questions do you have besides donuts?
I've got a question.
Yes.
Is this something we do daily? Write this out daily, or is this something that we're going to do every single day?
Oh, wow. So what I would do...
We write it out once.
Anybody else thinking that? Because that's very specific. I love it. You want to write it out as if it happens every day. You don't have to wake up every day and say, hey, this is my success schedule. Well, let me shut this door real quick. So you don't have to get up each morning and write your success schedule out. What you want to do is write your success schedule out and have it, like post it somewhere. So your homework would be write your success schedule out, take a picture of it, and you're going to send it to Miss Parker so she knows what you're doing all day, and she knows when not to call you because you're busy eating your donuts and writing your goals down. Okay?
Can I share something really quick?
I wish you did. I wish you would.
It's something that I've done. Okay, here. This is what I have. It helped me in the beginning of the year. I share this with my with Nida, with my manager, and it helps me a lot. Organize my family's life, my life. My upline. They know exactly what I'm doing, what day, and I have it by half an hour increments now. I have to break down into 15 increments, but this helps out a lot.
There's a lot of white space on there.
On Excel.
Awesome. So Melissa, you don't have to do it every day, but you want to do it maybe Monday through Friday, and then do a different one for Saturday and Sunday, but you want to have it down. The routine is going to help you. The structure is going to help you, right? And maybe you don't wake up at 5 o'clock on Saturday, you wake up at 6. But wake up on 6. Wake up at 6. Do the things that you say you're going to have, that you want to have happen during the day, because everything is about getting to those goals. Everything is about getting to the goals. What other questions do you have? This is a great discussion.
I've actually got another one.
Yes, go ahead, Melissa.
What if we don't complete our goal within the time period?
Life is over.
Do we just...
Life ends. It's over. It's done. Just give up. Sorry, go ahead. Finish the question.
Well, what do we just stop doing it and go to our next goal, or what do we do?
Okay, so you're talking about the targets and what you're going to be doing. Can you shut that for me, brother? Thank you. So you're talking about, I'm writing my success schedule, and I write everything in, and all of a sudden I get a phone call and there's an emergency and I couldn't get to the gym that morning. Right. Okay, good. Your target is to get as much on that as, things are going to happen, guys. Things are going to happen. It's how you respond to those things happening.
Oh, that's right. So I'm only here until
It's going to give you the control. So there's going to be a point where you're going to choose, hey, this is like, I'm getting a call in my gym time. Am I going to take the call and stop working out? Or am I going to take the call and say, hey, I'm working out, talk to me while I'm working out? Because the universe is going to test you. The universe, she loves giving out tests. It's her favorite thing. And she's testing your conviction on how you want. Hey guys, she's testing your conviction on how bad you want your goals. She's going to test it. You can't just tell her, hey, I want some stuff, without her going, let's find out how bad you want it. And she's playful. She loves to give tests. Okay? So you just need to think anything that's popping up, this is going to be a test. And there's some things that are going to be more important than what you wrote down, and other things that aren't. And it's going to be a decision that you are going to need to make. Because everything in the success schedule is going to move you a step closer to what you want in those big goals. Remember how we wrote down the big goals? The big, juicy 10x super life goals? The success schedule is the small steps that you're going to take every day to get you to the big goals.
Who over there wants to be over? What's happening?
Does that help you?
Yes.
Melissa, what's the question you really want to ask me?
I had a question about one of my clients the other day, and the response I should have given her.
Go ahead.
I went in and saw a lady, and she said, oh, somebody just came by a week ago, and I bought insurance from them.
Oh.
And I didn't know what to say. I did not know what to say.
So she's already bought insurance.
Yes, it wasn't final expense, but regardless, it was a $20,000 policy.
Okay. So what's the number one rule of selling?
The number one rule?
Yeah.
Agree.
We went over that. We went over that when I was up there. Were you there?
Yes, I was there.
All right. What is the number one rule of selling?
Agree.
Yeah. Always agree. Steve Powers knows. Always agree. So let's role play it. I want to find out what you did. Okay, ready? So you just call me up and you say, hey, Dave, you ready to get that insurance? Let's go.
Hey, Dave, you ready to get that insurance?
Oh, man, you just missed me. I just bought a $20,000 policy on Monday.
I was just wondering because I know we had this conversation. You were like,
I was stumped. I really
well,
was.
what you just tell me, just do what you did. Do what you did. Did you just hang up on her?
No. I was actually in front of her.
Okay, so just do what you did. I want to see what you did.
I said, oh, that's nice. What kind of policy was it? And she proceeded to actually go get her entire
Yeah, it's a term.
policy
It's a $20,000 term policy.
It was a $20,000 whole life policy.
I mean, it's a $20,000 whole life policy. And then what did you say? Just role play with me right now.
He's like, how do you know? I looked exactly like that.
I think I said that's nice.
Oh, that's nice. Like when you walk up to a girl who's got a nicer dress on than you, and you're like, that's nice. Like that kind of that's nice?
Yeah. Sort of.
Yeah, like
No, I know I blew it.
All right, good. So let's role play a little something different, okay? Now you are that client, and this is how I would handle it, no matter what. Hey, let's get you that policy.
Oh, Dave, I am so sorry, but I bought a $20,000 policy last week.
Awesome. That's fantastic. That's the right thing to do. Evidently, you see the need for insurance and investing in it. All of my clients invest their money in insurance, either before working with me or after working with me. Did you get all your final expenses taken care of? Because that's the most important. Wouldn't you agree?
No problem. Still a good time for you?
I would agree, but I figured this $20,000 will take care of my final expenses.
Good thing I stopped by. Let me show you the difference between a whole life and final expense.
No worries. Do you have a mic on your computer?
And then I move right into it.
Computer audio or stay on the phone?
Because this is what I did. I'm agreeing with her. No matter what, she's right. I need to make her right. Remember?
Okay.
Everybody wants to be. How many men do you know that love being right?
All of them.
How many women do you know that love being right?
Oh, absolutely all of them.
All right, what about brown people? Do they like being right?
Yes.
Black people, do they like being right?
Yes.
How about white people? You think they like being right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, everybody wants to be right. Make them right. Dude, you did something? Dude, that's good for you, man. That's in their eyes, they did it because it was the right thing to do. They thought it was right. And as soon as you make them wrong, then you have a disagreement.
Oh, yeah.
You want to make them right. And when you make them right and truly make them right, you're able to see from their point of view. And when you can see from their point of view, all of a sudden, that's what real rapport is. That's what real trust is. That person knows what I'm thinking. That person knows what I'm feeling. That person is on my team, and that's where the trust comes in, and that's where the real rapport is built. Not, oh, nice blouse, or I really like the way you did your hair today, or wow, you got kids too? That's all superficial, right? So you're right. That's awesome. Right. You see the need to buy insurance. Most people can't even do that. Evidently, you're not most people. Let's make sure the final expenses are taken care of too, since you're in the mood to invest in insurance. Let's do this, right? But that's all going to come in the training. That's all going to come in the training. But we got to start with the finances. We got to start with attitude and mindset. Because if you don't have the right attitude and you don't have the right mindset, I can give you all the word tracks in the world, but you're not going to use them and they're not going to come out right. So we're going to get there. That literally what I just did for you is inside Cardone University. There's like 11 lessons that I just put together, all in just that one response.
I want to show you if you haven't.
Okay,
right?
Great.
We got you, Melissa. We got you.
Well, that was my first time having to deal with that, and I don't know. I just totally was like, duh.
I got you. Hey, it's only weird the first time.
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. What other questions do you guys have?
For the scheduling, when we're in the middle of, let's say we block out a window for calls, and we get other calls that aren't a part of that same window, and they were scheduled for later. Do we just take them then, or move them back and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be taking those calls at 4:00. Can I call you at 4? Or do we just take it right then and there?
See, Lee gets different calls than everybody else. That's why he's asking that. Lee gets problems. Do I handle the problems when I'm supposed to be making money, or do I handle the problems? So the genius is in the principles. The genius is in the principles, not in the mechanic. The genius is in the principles, not in the mechanics. Principle, Lee, follow the money. You take the money call, right? You take the money call. 80%.
I can relate to that, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. When we get into prospecting, you're going to understand that prospecting and looking for new business is the number one priority over everything else. 80% of your day, this success schedule is going to change, by the way, because 80% of your day is going to be prospecting. I need to look for new business. 20% of your day is going to spend on closing deals, follow up, and handling problems. Remember, you are in control of everything. Nothing happens to you, it happens because of you. So Lee, I know what you're asking right now. Follow the money. Follow your pay plan. And then you're going to make a decision. So like, let's say you block off the time. I'm prospecting for the next hour, but a client calls you with a credit card. I'm taking that call. Okay, but you've got Nancy who's got a problem with something, and you're going to say, Nancy, I can take that call at 5:00. Or send me the email. I'll be able to glance at it real quick, but I'm actually in the middle of something. Like, be able to control your time. But I would follow the money.
Well said. Thank you.
You got it, brother. You got it. These are the right questions to ask. This is the right communication. And remember, everybody's got a question. Keep them coming.
what do they all do? They all sell things. So.
Oh, Randy, I know you got a question. What's
Not
up?
only do they sell their copiers and printers to the businesses, but they can help them sell more of what they sell. So as a value add differentiator.
Oh, no? You're not? No?
Monetize their audience.
Yeah. Cool.
No question. Not yet.
What's the one question you were thinking about?
This program and grants content, more of a new venture for you?
Me?
Yeah.
Or more of to support your existing company?
I don't know. I don't have one right now.
All right. I'll let you get off of it. What do you guys like?
I have a question there.
Yes, Nance, Miss Sanchez.
How
Janan.
long do you
Go ahead.
How long do you really recommend to dedicate for the training videos? Because if let's say if we don't really take care of our time schedule, we may not control. I mean, we may unfocus on our goal, which is the sales and hitting the field or our job. So what's the time that we should really dedicate for this training?
Okay, so we're going to give you the required training each morning. So Miss Parker is going to. You have a WhatsApp group or a me chat. You have a group. Group me.
And for you, if
She is going to send out the required training for that morning.
your company in one
Once
way,
the required training for that morning is complete, feel free to go to any other part of the training. Now, let's say there's four lessons, but you do 6 lessons all in a row. The next morning, when the lessons go out, you still have to do those 4 lessons, even if you're repeating them back to back. You still need to do those. So that's the minimum requirement. After that, it's going to be up to you. But the real problem that I see in your question is you're going to have trouble controlling your schedule. That's what you're really asking, right?
Right.
Okay, good. So what's the real concern with the schedule? Talk to me.
well, when you say financial freedom,
That sometimes trainings might cross with possibly an appointment with a client.
Okay, so are you having appointments with clients at 7 a.m.?
Not at 7 a.m.
Then I would do
But
your
it could be 8 a.m. It could be 9, 10.
Okay, then I would do your training at 7 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you've got a client at 8 o'clock and you got calls, good for you. Like, follow the money. But you have to do your training before then. So what time on your success schedule? What time are you waking up?
At 6.
Good. So can you do it at 6:05?
do you mean the security or do you?
Yes, that's not actually, but I mean the live training, like right now, or the Zoom training.
Oh, okay.
Like for example,
okay,
the
that
10
makes
to
sense.
11.
Okay, good. So we're required to go to our meetings. The only reason to not go to a meeting is if I'm in a demo. If I'm demonstrating a product or a service and I'm going for the close. The principle is follow the money. The only reason I'm not allowed to be at a meeting is because I'm closing a deal or I'm doing a demo. Ms. Parker, is that fair?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and we want people, that Monday Zoom that Dave was talking about earlier, at 10 a.m., that's really the only one where we say, okay, let's see if we can get all on that. During the week, those 10 o'clock Zooms, I know they're cutting into our morning activity, our morning work. So they're available, like you said, they're extra, they're there. So if you're driving in your car from an appointment to another appointment and it happens to be 10 o'clock, then by all means hop on that Zoom. But don't not go see your client because of a 10 a.m. Zoom.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotcha.
Follow the money. The money comes first. That's why the real training, guys, the real training is Cardone University, the virtual segments with the testing. That's the real training. Everything else is services on top of that we do for you to help you to supplement and enhance the training. But the real training comes from Grant Cardone. He's the guy that's doing it. He's the guy with the jet and the 2 helicopters and just bought Tommy Hilfiger's house. He's the undercover billionaire, not me, not the other guys on the call. We've just been studying him for so long, doing the things that he said to do, that we're seeing success. But the real training comes from Grant. And that's why the Cardone University is the utmost importance. After you've done your Cardone University, everything else is to supplement and enhance it. So absolutely, on Mondays, if you don't have a demo at 10 a.m., then hop on with me so that I can answer your questions and role play with you. But the rest of the week, man, schedule your demos. Go get the money. Get the money. Remember, who's got my money? How many of you are wearing the bracelets? Who's got my money? Yeah, you must have the training. Thank you, Carl. Mr. Brown Jr. You must have the training in order to get better. But once you have the training, dude, go get the money. Because you can't be free without the money. It just doesn't work that way. Does that answer your question, Ms. Sanchez?
Yes, you did. Thank you so much, Dave.
Absolutely. Who else?
This may be a question for Jessica more so than you, but part of this process, UBI meetings, UBI calls, for example, on Mondays, they run long sometimes.
Around 9:30. Okay. So, I mean, we have our commitments there, so we'll adjust our schedule so we can still make all of the other obligations too. So on Mondays, it might be different than the rest of the week.
One of the big components of this program.
So maybe you have a success
So
schedule.
we may not have a.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So maybe you have a success schedule for Monday, and then Tuesday through Friday, another one for Saturday, another one for Sunday. Because maybe you go to church on Sunday, but you don't on Saturday, and you need to put that into your calendar.
That's actually coverage for the country.
Right? So if each day is going to be different, then make a success schedule for each of those days. But make sure you have it from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. And remember, you can change your mind. It's the most powerful thing that a human being can do. You can always change your mind, but you can't change your mind if you haven't made a decision. So make the decision.
Per month, you get access to the entire world. So this is really just
Miss Robertson, any questions?
So
You are on mute, ma'am.
we have with this, let me pull this up. The different licensing
Let me
deals we have
There we
to be able to make payments on this. Option one would be a down payment.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Dave, how are you? Not necessarily. Right now, I'm just focusing on making sure I prioritize everything that I need to do. I've been having some good success in the morning. As a matter of fact, this morning, yesterday, a client called me, an old client from another situation, and she now needs a product that I'm not licensed to do right now. And I just talked to her, and she wanted me to do it. And I told her in order for me to do that product, there's some things that I have to take care of, and I don't think she should have to wait because her needs are right now. So I convinced her to speak with a gentleman in our office, and I said I'm going to set this up. She says, Linda, I've never have been with you for years, and I just had to get her out of her comfort cycle. Okay, so she would be able to get what she needs. So I called. I said, okay. I said, I'm going to do a 3-way call. I'll introduce you. And since this gentleman yesterday committed to answering his phone and returning calls, I knew he would take that call this morning. And I knew he was probably washing his face or doing whatever like I was. So did a 3-way. I introduced them both. I laid down the phone. I said, I don't want to disconnect you, and y'all make that decision. Okay? But things like that, things happen when they come back. Don't make no excuses. Don't reschedule it. Let's do it now.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what tomorrow is going to be. But that's my focus right now. And you just making things happen. I want to do it in order, but I don't want to get so excited where I fall out of order with what I have to do here to really get everything that I need.
Okay, perfect. So here's what I would say to that. Number one, great job on the cycle. Great job servicing the client. That's because that's what you're supposed to do. And you help somebody else in your office that could help them. Fantastic. Don't get caught up in the mechanics right now. Don't get caught up in, this is for everybody, don't get caught up in the mechanics of, well, at 8:15, if I don't do this, then I don't do this. Or at 6 o'clock, well, what if traffic is bad and I'm not able to? Don't get caught up in the mechanics. Make the schedule. Remember how when we were going over the goals and I was like, just decide the goal. Don't worry about how. Don't worry about how right now. I want you to make a decision. Make the decision. This is what I'm doing. If you have to change your mind later, you can. But you can't change your mind if you haven't made your mind. So make the decision. Just fill it out and then send it to Jess or Miss Parker. Okay?
None of them work without the others.
Fill it out.
You know, the credibility.
Do one for Monday, Tuesday through Friday, one for Saturday, one for Sunday. You keep a copy of it. You put it in your plan, you put it in your calendar, and then if you have to change things, because busy executives change things, and you are busy executives. But then also, if you change it, that means you're in control. You want the control. If you don't make it or you don't decide it, and you're just waiting for things to happen, you're not in control. But if you're like, hey, at 7 p.m. I'm supposed to have dinner with my spouse, but all of a sudden a demo wants to be done, you're going to change your mind and you're going to make it up to the spouse another way because you're going to make some more money. Now they're going to get a gift and dinner.
So this is important because this is what gives.
Does that make sense?
Faith and conviction.
Okay, good. What do you guys like best about what we went over today?
Right, if you want to go out and start your own venture, your own business today with your name, you just won't have
Forcing us to take a look at our day today because everybody thinks they're doing too much. When we write this down, we're going to see we've got plenty of time that we're not doing as much as we think we are.
Yeah, because I did the same thing, Lee. And some of you are like, "Oh, this is good," and all of a sudden you got to like 4 p.m. You're like, "Dude, I don't even know what I do the rest of the day. I have no idea." Yes, Miss Linda.
access to an official licensing email, Ed Brent Cardone team.
Structure is the key.
You're going to get
Yep.
featured in our licensee directory.
Structure is the key because when we leave everything to our thinking, we set ourselves up for a trap. And as long as we have structure on a consistent basis, it creates the habit.
100%.
And that way, you begin to see a change when you go into the gym on a consistent level. You see a change with your health. You have more energy. You can do more. You know where you're supposed to be. If something comes up, you don't have a problem with making a shift and prioritizing your schedule.
Kara.
Hey, this is Sharon. It reminds me of the video where Grant was talking about have a plan and work it. And he said, obviously you can have a direction and then things change. And then you have a new plan, but just work that new plan too. Just always, stay active, create activity, and always be doing something. You talk about how boredom leads to laziness, and this is just giving me structure. This is honestly what I've been trying to do in my life, is have more structure to our routine. So we're right on the plan.
Awesome. Mr. Brown. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I was just telling Jessica this just last night. Sometimes we think that busy work is productive work, and that's not necessarily the case. And so for me, having a routine that is as granular as you're encouraging us for it to be is amazing. And it could be easily overlooked. Oh yeah, I'm being productive, when really maybe we're not, because time frames are overlapping. We're still doing the same task, and we've not executed that task to move on to the next. So therefore, something is bleeding through our entire day. So this is really what I need. So thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And Casey.
Yeah, I just wanted to hit home the point that you're really getting at. And what we're talking about, what our goals are, is macroscopic success. success on a huge grand scale. And in order for us to have and achieve macroscopic success, it is simply a series of manageable microscopic successes, one right after the other, after the other, after the other. It's just stringing together things you already know you can do and putting them in an order that when you do it in that order, your end result is that macroscopic success. I think that's an easy way to conceptualize it for us and to work toward that bigger thing, that bigger goal.
100%. When you're running a marathon, do you just kind of like, hey, I'm hoping I'm going to get out there and do whatever, or do you know what you're doing every single mile?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I don't always like using that analogy that's easy for me to go to, but you've done it for me. And I coach, runners, and the first thing I tell them is, your goal 4 months from now is to run this distance at this pace. That's your goal 4 months from now. Right now, your ability is to run this distance at this pace. So all we need to do is work together for the next 4 months so that today you do only what I ask you to do. You don't need to run that time today. You need to do what you need to do today. And tomorrow, I'm going to have something tweaked just a little bit that you can also achieve. And the next day, you can also achieve. And then suddenly, 2 months from now, what seems really hard now, you're at the point where you know you can achieve it because you've already achieved the step right before it. And then suddenly, 3 weeks before the big race, I see that aha moment in my athletes' minds where, man, I'm going to toe this line with confidence. I believe I can do it when I stand on that starting line. And it wouldn't have happened if they didn't just buy in from the beginning of just stick with these little successes every day. Don't lose track of it. Don't try to overachieve it. Don't underachieve it. Don't take days off. Just show up on a daily basis and do what's needed for that day.
That's it. That's it. Anyone else? Miss Parker, what did you like best about what we went over today?
Yes. Amazing. I love all the people that can be all I love it. We're ready. We're ready to rock and roll. As we run here, it's going to give us a good tool to really identify where we can flex right now and where we can really step up our game. And it's all across the board. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the challenge. We're ready for the challenge.
All right, awesome. Last thing. Some of you are like, some of you are going to be, I like to watch TV from 6 o'clock till 10 o'clock every single night. If that's your success schedule right now, write it in. Write it in. Know consciously, I am going to vegetate on the couch and go backwards from 6 to 10 p.m. Like, own it. Own it. Like the way I owe bitching, complaining for the first 5 minutes of the day. Own it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be all productive all the way up until the end of the day, and you're going to sit there, and after a night or two, you're going to go like, dude, this is not the right thing. You're going to become conscious. You're going to become aware instead of just in a habit of watching TV every night. And then all of a sudden you're going to go, I'm going to change this. And there's going to be a book that's picked up, or there's going to be an extra time at the gym, or there's going to be time going through your CRM and getting your leads ready for tomorrow, or there's going to be an extra 3 or 4 lessons in Cardone U, because you're going to realize everything that you do, you're either building an empire or you're destroying your empire with everything that you do. Your empire will never stay the same. You're either building your empire or you're destroying your empire. That's what I got for you guys today. This is a big meeting. I usually don't do this meeting till 6 or 8 months in when somebody's on Cardone U, but you guys are, you're a different group. I'm connected to you differently. It's a business, but it is a personal thing to see your success to a different level. So you're going to be getting these from me on a regular basis in communication with Miss Parker, and she's going to let me know, hey, this is what's happening. How do we improve it? This is what's happening. How do we improve it? That's our conversation. This is what's happening. How do we improve it? So if you guys need anything from me, email me, Dave@grantcardone.com. You're all following me on Instagram, and if you're not, I take full responsibility for that. That's my fault. But you can also message me on there. It's the fastest way to get a hold of me. I'm the only one that checks my Instagram. I get back to all my messages. So make a decision. Either you're building an empire on your success schedule or you're destroying your empire. It's your decision, not somebody else's. It is your decision. Be conscious about it and go out there and go for greatness today. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave. Have a great day.
Thank you,
Thank you,
David.
Dave. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a
Good day,
great night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Say goodbye.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for joining me today. That was a live sales meeting that I did with a client that needed help with, hey, my people love Cardone University so much that they're training all day long. Well, it's not about training all day long. It's about getting ready for the game and then getting better after the game. You guys need anything from me, let me know. Hit me up. Would love to do a sales meeting for your sales team. Send me a message. Go be great.